I'm Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. We are celebrating Black History Month. Today, my very special guest is the Honorable Judge Benjamin Richardson. Welcome, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. G.
That is so wonderful to be able to say, welcome, Judge. I am so very proud of your success. And I promised you we would try to keep this on the right track, but I know that the angels are singing in heaven because you stayed the course.
Well, thank you.
In spite of the odds, your father was in the military.
Yes.
And he was killed. Was he killed in Vietnam?
Vietnam.
He was killed in Vietnam. And your fabulous mother was the person that stepped up to the plate and helped you to navigate from a young boy to manhood to being this great and wonderful judge that we're so proud of today.
You're too kind. You're too kind. Well, thank you.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. So how did Columbus get so lucky, and how did we end up with you here in Muskogee County?
Well, it's really a crazy story. When I came out of law school, University of Georgia, I wanted to go back home to Atlanta to practice. Looked for a job for about a year, and I worked for a small firm in Athens, Georgia. And student loans were due, so I said, well, my mother said, you got to do something. So I started sending out my resume, and there was a solicitor's office in DeKalb County, and he didn't have any openings, but he said, hey, they have some openings in Columbus, Georgia. Do you mind if I send your resume down there? And Ms. G, I'm not going to sit here and say that I thought, yeah, I was positive about it, but I just said, you know, as a courtesy, sure.
Yes.
Well, they called me, and I was like, Columbus, Georgia. I said, okay. And
you didn't know that much about us?
I did not. I did not know. I found out later y'all on the west coast of Georgia. So. And so Maureen Godfrey, who was the solicitor at the time, she called me for an interview. And so when she gave me directions, she said, just get on 85 South, get off on 185, and just keep straight. Right. So I did that.
And if you miss it, you got to turn in your driver's license.
That's true.
You can't miss it.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. But I did get a little confused when I came down 2nd Avenue because I passed through Bibb City at the time. So I thought, so maybe I'm lost.
That was interesting.
Yeah. Yes. So by the time I got ready to turn around, I was back in Columbus again. So, so I kept on straight to the government center.
And a lot of people don't understand that Bibb City was separate from Columbus.
Exactly, a separate city.
So now we're all consolidated, and it's a part of Columbus.
Yes, ma'am. Right. Yes, ma'am. So I had my interview, and it went well. We had a very nice interview, and Columbus was a great city. Downtown wasn't as vibrant as it was down, but it was still just a nice Riverwalk, just a nice city. And so she said she would let me know. I was competing with 4 other candidates. So I said, okay, well, I don't think I'm going to get this job. And I told my mother, and like you said, my mother said, well, no, you got to have faith. If this is for you, it's for you. She called me. And so I said, okay, I'm going to work 2 years, and I'm going back to Atlanta. Things happen, and next thing you know, 20 years later, I'm here. Right.
So you came for this job. You were going to only do 2 years with us. And then you ended up being a husband, a dad, and then you went on to be the solicitor.
I did. I did.
And so how long were you in that position?
From 2003 to 2013, so 10 years.
Really? And then now, the judge, Judge Ben Richardson. So was that a surprise, or was that something that was on your list of achievements?
No, it was definitely a surprise. One of my mentors, Judge Allen, he started off in the state court, and then he got appointed to Superior Court, and he used to always tell me, he said, you know, you ever thought about being a judge? I said, that's not for me, Judge. I said, I'm just going to be a prosecutor and be the best prosecutor I can be. He said, well, you ought to think about it. So it never really was, it was in the back of my mind, but I never really thought about it sincerely. But as you said, you know, when the Lord has something for you, not even yourself can turn it down.
Exactly.
And so the opportunity came, and the Lord blessed me, and now here I am.
All right. Well, we are so very proud of that you stayed on the path. I mean, you are definitely added value for this community. The thing, though, that I think a lot of folks don't know about you is how grounded you are, just and humble, just in everyday life. You're very approachable. Right. And this is just not me saying that. That's people saying that.
Well, thank you.
I've never encountered you at any event where you didn't walk up. And this goes to credit your mother.
Yes.
And I'm a mother, so I believe in giving credit where it's due. I mean, you had all of the intellect and all of that, but the home training is just, I mean, head and shoulders above the rest. My sister Brenda Chambers, we talk about you. When you see Ben Richardson, not Judge Richardson, but Ben Richardson, it's like, yes, ma'am, and Miss G, and all of that. And we have to credit your mother for that. Yes. I mean, she really, in spite of being a widow, your father, you know, was killed in Vietnam, and she just went on. She made sure that not only you had all of that, the academics that you needed. She made sure you had that total package.
She did.
She really did.
She did.
And so that is what I admire so much about you. I think your success is awesome. A lot of people have success and they don't know how to walk in it. But you walk well in that success.
Well, and I thank you for that. And like you're right, the credit does go to my mother because she's my foundation. And just like, you know, you have your son and that bond, I think a lot of times men, we need that foundation. And, you know, I use the analogy, I'm a card player because my grandfather in my spare time liked to play spades.
Oh, okay.
And as you know, in spades, you need to have a good partner.
Yes.
And my mother was that partner for me that I knew that no matter what the hand, whether it be no spades or anything, she was going to play that hand with me to the end.
Exactly.
And when you have that foundation, I think any man or any woman, I think you can do anything. But you also got to, she also made me realize though, but for the grace of God, go you.
Exactly.
And so she said that if you ever get in a position, just remember, and she's called me Stace, that was my nickname. She said, Stace, just remember what I taught you. You know better than anybody else, anybody better than you, but you want to treat people how you want to be treated.
Exactly.
So that's why I always try to remember, I'm a prosecutor, not a persecutor. So.
Wow. Yeah. That's really profound. I'm a prosecutor, not a persecutor. Yeah. And I think sometimes people get their authority, they get it mixed up.
Right.
And as you said, but for the grace of God, there goes I. And those of us that went to a HBCU, which you did, and you attended
Howard University.
Howard University. The famous Howard University. And so there are some things that could cause us to have a misstep. And when people have one, we don't need to be so people can't be redeemed.
Exactly.
And I mean, if God thinks that we can be redeemed, then certainly as humans, we should think that other humans can be redeemed as well,
Exactly. You're so correct. And I think that's one thing, you need good prosecutors who realize that have that human spirit, say, okay, just because I have the power and authority does not mean I have to use it all the time. If somebody did commit a crime and they show remorse, then I think you're right, you need to look at that mitigation. You should not just have blinders up and say there's no mitigation, you broke the law, it's black and white. There's a lot of gray when it comes to the law. And there's a lot of gray when it comes to sentencing, because you're right. People do make mistakes, but you should not be able to take somebody off track where they can get back on track again.
Well, they could never.
Right.
And we just thank God that he's not that way.
Exactly.
Certainly.
Right.
Well, what we're going to do right now, Judge, we're going to go to a break to some of our sponsors. And when we come back, I want to talk about how your talk and your walk lines up. No, that redemption thing.
Right.
Because you received something very special, and I certainly want to make sure we highlight that today.
Okay. Yes,
all right. We'll be right back. All right. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
History is important because it shows where you're coming from and where you're going. Type 2 diabetes is something that runs in my family, which means I'm at risk. In fact, 1 in 3 American adults are at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. And knowing this, if I do nothing, that family history becomes my family's future. And my family is too important to me for that. Take the risk factor assessment today at AskScreenKnow.com.
Don't speed up your delivery date. Babies aren't fully developed until at least 39 weeks. A healthy baby is worth the wait.
We do it for the vine.
Hi, I'm Pastor Quinn, Senior Pastor of New Destiny Church.
And I'm Lady Denitra Hartnett, and we would like to invite you out to worship with us at New Destiny Church, where we do it for the vine.
Welcome back to Straightforward. We're continuing our conversation with the Honorable Judge Ben Richardson. Ben, I was so just overjoyed when we came down to your court and you did the swearing in for Kia for her position school board at large. And you went to your office and you came back with this wonderful award that some young people had sent to you by way of
Afghanistan.
And it was kind of to say thank you for being a prosecutor, but not a persecutor.
Right.
So you didn't know I was going to use that to lead in. But no, that speaks volumes about you and also the early teachings of your mother.
Right.
But for the grace of God, there goes I.
Right.
So as young people, you know, we did a lot of things we could have been in trouble for. I went to Albany State, you went to Howard. I mean, there are a lot of things we could have gotten in trouble about, but, you know, God was good and he was merciful.
Right.
So you received an award.
Yes. What happened was these young people, before they went into the military, they did have some issues. And one of them was possession of marijuana. I'm not going to say their names because I don't know.
Right.
And one of them was step-out shoplifting. But the one with step-out shoplifting, they were with the wrong crowd. And the one for possession of marijuana, the same thing, with the wrong crowd. And so when they came to see me with their parents, they told me they wanted to go in the military. And I said, well, which branch? And one of them wanted to go into the Army, and the other one wanted to go into the Marines. Well, my dad was a Marine, and my uncle was a Marine.
Right.
And so I told him, I said, well, the Marines, you know, in the Army, very honorable, very tough. I said, so I don't want to send you over there if you're going to be messing up and get kicked out.
And make you look bad.
Exactly.
Right.
So, you know, be honest with me. Is this something you really want? And they said, yes, sir. I really want it. I said, okay, I'll tell you what. You got a clean record. You're in school. You're about to graduate. I'm going to give you a chance.
Great.
And so they did some community service for the community, and then they came back and showed me proof. And the one who was charged with possession of marijuana, they actually did a drug screen. Because marijuana stays in your system 30 days. And I tell people, you know, you can't hustle me. And so it came back clean. And so, like you said, Ms. G, I just felt like, okay, these young people, they deserve a second chance, especially they want to serve our country.
Exactly.
And so they were able to get in, and I talked to the recruiter, and, you know, that was the last I heard about them because, like you said, it was just a situation that I felt like, well, my grandfather taught me that, hey, you know, common sense and book sense goes a long way.
Yes.
And he said, a textbook will tell you how to cross the street. Common sense is going to tell you when to cross the street.
Your grandfather was a wise man.
Yeah. 5th grade education. And so in my heart, I felt like, okay, I think I'm going to take a chance. And so like you said, this was probably a couple years ago. And I didn't know that over in Camp Leatherneck that you can nominate either a citizen or a group to fly the flag in their honor. And they nominated me.
Wow.
And lo and behold, I came back to my office one day and my secretary said, you have a package. And I have to give Pastor Plummer, Roy Plummer, credit because he was the liaison.
And he's retired military.
Retired military. And he had it delivered to my office because they sent it to him because they didn't have my address. And so when I opened it up and I saw it, I said, I was just touched because that's one of the greatest gifts that I ever received. And I remember telling my grandmother about it, and she said, well, baby, she said, you know, that's why you're there.
Exactly.
And I said, what do you mean? She said, you there, you can help people, you help them. Now, she said, now, everybody can't be helped, but some people can be, and show discernment to know who can be helped and who can't be helped.
Discernment.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's probably why you're so great and so successful, and that's probably why all the old women like me just think you're fabulous. I can't speak for the young women because they haven't gotten there yet. But no, it's all of that wisdom that was poured into you by your mom and your grandmother and your grandfather, like he said. You said he had a 5th grade education.
Yeah, he did. He
Common
did.
sense and book sense. Common sense will tell you one thing, book sense will tell you something else.
True.
So you were able to change their lives. They could get a second chance.
Yes.
Because young people do stupid things.
They do.
We went to college
yes,
with some
we
people,
did.
you know.
We did.
You probably know some that are successful. I mean, you know, we have Bill Clinton, who was the president, that admitted that he experimented. We have Barack Obama that admitted he experimented. And I always told people when I taught in the Calhoun State Prison with the federal education grant, some people got caught, some people did.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
I can tell you some stories.
Oh, absolutely. Like you know, and especially on the at HBCU, you know, there were parties that you probably shouldn't have been at.
True.
That you probably should have left early once you saw a certain group show up and that kind of thing.
True.
So that was a testimony to you walking the walk and talking the talk and it all lining up because you made a difference.
Yes, and like I said, it was, to me, it's not about getting credit for anything. It's about giving people another chance, another opportunity. Because you never know when you're gonna need that same opportunity or that same chance. And so I always felt that everybody makes mistakes. But did you man up or woman enough to say, I made a mistake and I want some help? Right. And if you can do that, then to me, you deserve some help.
Okay. And so you have this fabulous plaque, and we're going to be showing that for the people to see. Right. So do you plan to meet with these young people again in life, just to have that face-to-face? Because you just, well, okay, this is something I'm going to do to try to make a difference, and went on. Right. So it's very clear you have forgotten all about it, that you didn't do it for, as the old people would say, an outside show to a dying world. But yeah, you went on, and so they appreciate you giving them that opportunity. So you all will be meeting in the future. Yeah,
because I want to thank them face to face, but I also want to tell them how proud I am of them, that they stuck to their guns and that they kept their word.
And they did what they promised you to do.
Exactly. And I also want to get a promise from them that I want you to help somebody too.
And pay it forward.
That's right.
And pay it forward. Well, besides all of the great things you've done for our community in law, you're an awesome husband and an awesome dad. Well, you know, that's my opinion.
I got you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. You can tell Miss Valerie, I said.
That ain't just what I'll do.
Exactly.
Thank you.
But I've seen you out with your son, and I know that you're a doting dad. So how has that been from what you learned from your mom, and now how old is your son?
13.
Wow. Oh, he's going to need a car soon. Not looking forward to that.
Not looking forward to it.
Oh, then you got to sit up at night and wait for him to come back from the date now.
That's
because
true.
You know he's going to drive the girl, be a gentleman like his dad.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, so, oh, wow, you're going to really need a lot of rest.
Right.
So you better enjoy this 13 before we get to the driver's license.
That's true.
Yeah.
And not having an opportunity for my father to raise me, I think it's extra special because you want to, you know, vicariously live through your son and say, okay, I didn't get a chance to have my father, so I'm gonna be here for you. And so I try to reiterate that to Justin all the time. And you know, like you said, he's a teenager, so it goes in one ear out the other. But sometimes he does listen. He does repeat what I say. And he's playing basketball now.
Really?
Yeah, he is, and I'm proud of him. He's a better ball player than me, but I never tell him that. So. But I think it's just important that. One of the things that happened that was surprising, when I used to take Justin to some of his games, one of his friends told him, he said, Justin, he said, you know, you lucky. He said, why? He said, because your dad comes to your games. And Justin said, okay, so what's the big deal? Because to Justin, it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
But the young man actually came with me and said, Mr. Richard, can you cheer for me too? I said, yeah, sure, man.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, Justin, I must admit, he got a little, you know, jealous a little bit.
Somebody else was paying attention to his daddy.
Right. But I tried to explain to him, I said, Justin, look, that young man needs some encouragement just like you need some encouragement. He said, but yeah, Dad, but you're my dad. I said, yes, that's true. But like I told you, I didn't have a father. So, hey, I'm a cheer for both of y'all.
Oh, so, how great is that? And so he's at what school is he?
He's at Midland Middle School.
Oh, middle school. Wow. How about that? Time really just kind of passed because it seems like I saw you and you were out with him. And he was like this little boy. Oh, yes. So now he is really.
Yeah, he's up a couple more inches. He'll pass me by. I told him, I said, hey.
But you're still the daddy.
That's right.
You're
still the daddy. Yeah.
And you are a member of
Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
Oh, you know, I always had to struggle with that, Ben, because you were so polite and mannerable, and being at a HBCU, you know, some of the things with the steps and the parties that the Qs would throw, I just couldn't connect you because you were so humble and polite. And then I said, see, that's an example of what your kids will do when the mama's not around. But I'm sure you didn't go as far as some of the others. So did you pledge at Howard, or
no,
you pledged to Grad Chapel?
Yeah, Grad Chapel. They were administratively, they had some issues. They were off the yard at Howard at the time. So I didn't get an opportunity as I wanted to try to go undergrad.
Okay.
Well, not saying I would have made Lamb, but I would, you know, like, had
well, you were doing your
studies,
right. Yeah.
But Lambda has been a very it's just been an inspiration and a love for me, because they took me in 20 years ago now, going 21 years ago, and I've met a lot of wonderful brothers, and the fraternity has shown me a lot.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take our final break, and then we'll come right back and continue that conversation about those Q dogs.
All right.
All right. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by the Warrior Outreach Project, please contact Command Sergeant Major Retired Sam Rhodes or Kathy Rhodes, Freedom Printing, for all of your designer printing needs. Gunboat Plaza, Suite 18.
Walmart's reason for supporting Thurgood Marshall College Fund is simple. We like to win. And we have been given a lot of exposure to some incredible talent. And we also believe that it's a part of our responsibility to the community to give back. This is a great opportunity to do both. It's been a wonderful experience for us through the years. We've appreciated our partnership. We believe in return on investment, and we have definitely had a remarkable return.
Columbus's first New York-style buffalo wings restaurant. American Deli is not only known for the best buffalo wings in the area, they're also known for their fresh deli ingredients. Now you can enjoy the best New York-style buffalo wings in 2 locations. American Deli at 2004 Auburn Avenue, Columbus, Georgia, and American Wings and Deli at 2061 Highway 280 in Phoenix City. We're open Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 8 p.m. American Deli, the best buffalo wings around.
Welcome back to Straightforward. We are in our final segment of our conversation with the Honorable Judge Ben Richardson. Ben, we got to have that conversation about the Q dogs and how we had to kind of see you there, but
good Omega men.
Good Omega men. Okay. Well, you have my brother-in-law, my nephews, and all of that, and so it's you all have done some great work. I will say that. Is that something you see your son pledging, Omega? Because it's different when you pledge than when he's pledging. So Is that something that you could see him carrying the torch?
I would love to see it, but I'm not going to force the issue.
Right.
If he wants to, I would definitely, talk to him and encourage him. But like you said, I want him to be his own man.
Mm-hmm.
And if he feels Omega's not for him, then I will respect that.
And you'll accept that.
I respect that.
Okay, and you're also a part of the 100 Black Men?
Mm-hmm.
And so what is it that you all are doing with that?
We're mentoring. We mentor every other Wednesday and Thursday at Dorothy Heights Elementary School and St. Mary's Magnet Elementary School.
Oh, okay.
We also are doing, giving back to, through Legacy Chevrolet, Emmanuel Jones. We have a joint program where we gave back over the holiday season to unfortunate families.
Really?
Gift baskets of food and some compensation, and toys.
Oh, and money.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you are boots on the ground outside of the courtroom.
Right. And unfortunately, as a judge, because of ethics, you have to kind of limit what you can do socially. But I have been involved over the years with the 100 Black Men, Make Side 5 Turn, and also the Fountain City Bar Association too.
Okay, and so the Fountain City Bar Association, is that a combination of men, women, all ethnic groups, or?
Right. It's mostly African American attorneys, but we do our inclusive if anybody wants to join.
Right.
And we basically try to be role models when we go speak to high schools, elementary schools, and middle schools to encourage young people to diversify the law, because we're not going to be here forever. And so,
exactly.
So we need some people, to come to see that.
Have to see people that look like them and say, "Oh, I can do this."
Exactly.
It can be done.
And nobody's on the pedestal. That's right.
Oh, okay. And so what is it that you plan to do going forward? I know you've served at the state level, and are you going to be a Supreme Court justice? Is that something we should start praying for right now? We can line up all the prayer partners and get that going, or you want to have an early retirement, you're going to see the world. What is it that you're going to do?
That's a very, very, very great question. When my mother was alive, I had big dreams. Governor, U.S. Supreme Court. Losing her kind of made me lose my focus. I'm not ashamed here to say it.
I understand.
And so
grief is something very serious.
It is. So trying to get my balance back, I in the back of my mind, I just, whatever opportunities God has for me, I hope I have the strength enough to go for them. But anything specific right now, still trying to get my balance back and my focus.
Yeah, I understand that. I do. I had a major loss 2013, then 2014, and people don't understand it. It really just kind of it sucks the wind out of you.
It does.
And then it just kind of take you some time to get your footing.
It does.
You know.
It does.
So before Mom moved from work to reward, of course, she's still there watching. You know, and I sent you a note once saying that, and I know that she is.
And you gave me guardian angel too.
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
And mothers, they're always going to be there. That spirit, I don't care wherever you go, just know she's your biggest cheerleader, and she got you. Right. I know she's gotten you. But I see you as moving beyond the state court. I see you moving beyond the Superior Court. I'd love for you to be a Supreme Court justice, because I think with all of the wisdom from all of the people in your village, your grandma, your granddaddy, your mother, and all the others that poured into your life, I just think that not only do you have that academic piece, but you have the heart of a humanitarian.
Right.
And I think that's really what we really need. The world needs more. No, we really do need more Ben Richardsons. Because sometimes people have power and they don't know how to use it. Or they have a gift and they don't know how to walk in it. Right. And so we just want to make sure that, you know, you get yourself, get your footing, get your balance. We're going to be there behind you. And I'll be there cheering. You know how I am. There's no shame in my game.
Well, I appreciate you, Ms. G.
And certainly don't want to take away from your lovely wife, Valerie. And how long have you been married?
Oh, wow. She's going to kill me for this.
Well, the baby's 13.
17 years. 17
okay.
years.
So we know you were married before you came to
Yeah,
because that's the way your mother trained you.
True.
You did it right.
That's true. That's
and
true.
She's working here in the city as
Columbus
well.
Tech.
She's working at Columbus Tech, and she's made some wonderful contributions. I know she's a part of a lot of great organizations as well.
Yeah.
But she shares you. With this community.
She does.
Of course, you all have the baby together, and then you are a member of St. James.
Yes, ma'am. St. AME Church.
And what do you do at St. James?
I'm a trustee and I'm usher, male usher.
Are you really an usher? So you are a keeper of the door.
Yes, I am.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. You know, because sometimes if the wrong person's at the door, then you are keeping the people that need to come in from coming in. No, really. We had that experience before. So that's one of the most important roles is I'd rather be a doorkeeper in the house. And so the coming out and the going ins. And so I think that's a very good thing. And then the trustee, I could see you in that role as well.
It is interesting. Like you said, you learn a lot being on the trustee board and the steward board. So you're right.
You learn a lot at church.
That's true.
Church is an experience quite different from court.
Right.
And it will truly make you stay on your knees when you are in church. Absolutely.
But we have a good pastor, Pastor Baker. He's doing a great job. And so I appreciate him working with the trustee board and the steward board. But I want to thank you too, Ms. G, because Quinn and Travis, I know that they love you. And I have a dear aunt too, my mom's sister. And since my mom passed, Aunt Helen, and you remind me so much of her because, like I said, she always got my back.
Oh, yeah.
I always got my back. And so, so I thank you for being a great aunt.
Well, your mother has moved from work to reward, but I'm your aunt too. So I am your Aunt Gloria as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And just know that Tali and I, we're always there for you. 100%.
I appreciate
whatever you need, you just call us and you got it.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
All right. This has been Straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.